So good morning, good afternoon to all of you. This is a short video to help you practice the Makaho sequence, which is a sequence of 6 asanas. And generally each asana is held for 3 slow, deep, mindful breaths. So I was taught this practice by Swami Krishnapremananda from the Mandala Yoga Ashram, but it's a traditional practice that was originally practiced by Buddhist monks to counteract the effects of sitting for hours in meditation every day. And I think that makes it a great practice for anybody who spends a lot of their day sitting. So just a few things to know. The first practice uses interlinked thumbs, and you might want to think about alternating the way that you interlink your thumbs each time you practice. The second asana you may need some props for. So I've got a yoga bolster, but you might want to use some sofa cushions or whatever you've got to hand. If you've got a yoga brick or a yoga block, that will also be really useful. If you don't have that, you might want to just get a few big flat books that you can use as a prop. And I think those are all the props you're going to need. So grab your props and let's get started. We're going to do this twice. So the first time I'll explain some modifications that you can use. The second time I'll do it on the breath, just to help you find that rhythm. If you do have any health issues or concerns, please do speak to your doctor, your physio before doing yoga. And it is really best to learn these sequences in a class if you've got any concerns at all about health issues. So let's get started. So we're going to start standing in Tadasana, and we're going to interlink the thumbs at the front of the body, just making a note of which thumb is on top. And we're going to inhale, raising the arms above the head. Exhaling to release. Then we're going to clasp the thumbs in the same way behind the back. And this time we're opening up the front of the body for 3 deep breaths. Inhaling, and then exhaling, we're going to fold forwards. You can have a bend in the knees if you need it. Inhaling, engaging the tummy, lowering the hips, and lifting up. So that's the first asana. Second asana, now this is where you may need to modify or you may need some props because it is quite challenging. So one modification would be to use a kneeling camel instead and just open up the front of the body this way and you'll get the same sort of stretch. You just want to feel that stretch through the front side of the body. So that's a good option. Or you can use, as I said, sofa cushions and so on. So you may want to have your flat block underneath your hips. And then your feet are just either side of your hips. So knees are together, but feet are slightly apart from your hips. You could roll up a blanket underneath your ankles, or you could sit on as many books or props as you need to lift your hips. So you could actually be sitting up quite high. And then I'm going to fold forwards today onto a bolster so that I don't need to come all the way to the ground. Now you could just stay here. That is absolutely fine. That's a really good place to be. You could come back onto your elbows, or you could lean back onto your bolster. Or if you've got that flexibility, obviously you could come all the way to the floor. So we're going to take 3 breaths here. So to come up, try not to twist. So press both hands, both elbows into the floor and come up stage by stage without twisting. And then just moving all your props out of the way. Actually, you might want to keep your flat block handy. We're going to do Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Now you could be sitting on your flat block if you find that useful. So options here, you could have some bricks or some props underneath your thighs. So we're going to inhale to lift up, opening up, lengthening the front of the body, and then either staying here or folding forwards for 3 breaths. Inhaling to lift back up. And then from here we come into a forward fold. So again, you may want to use your brick. You could also have a belt around your feet. And so if you find that it's a bit challenging to fold forwards. Do put a belt around the feet, and then you can hold on to the belt. You could keep a little bend in the knees. Inhaling to be tall, and then exhaling, folding forwards. So we want to try and keep length in the front of the body, so the belly is long and hollow. And then releasing. So next one, we're going to have the right foot on top of the left to start. So it's not quite like Baddha Konasana. The legs are a bit longer. And then I'll turn around so you can see a little bit better. Whichever knee is on top, you also want that wrist to be on top. So the palms of the hands are facing outwards. Got the backs of the hands resting on the knees. Now, if you're a little bit curvy at the front, you might find this a bit challenging. So just adjust your position however you need. Maybe the arms need to be a little bit closer to the body. Maybe you need to sort of tuck yourself under. And then what we're trying to find is space and breath in the back of the body. So as you inhale, you want to be able to feel the back of the body expanding slightly. So we're going to exhale, folding forwards, and take 3 deep breaths here. Inhaling to lift up, and then just changing the cross of the legs. Inhaling to be tall, exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling. And then finally, our last sequence, again, you can stay sitting on your flat block. Going to take one leg out to the side and bring the sole of the foot into the thigh. So this is a side stretch for the body. We don't want to fold forwards. We want to keep a side stretch. So shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. So bringing the back of the hand down the shin, and then the top arm is going to lift up and come alongside the ear. Inhaling to lift up. And then, of course, we need to just change over and do the other side. Inhaling to be tall, finding length in this side of the body. And inhaling, lifting up. And just sitting for a few moments, just absorbing what you've done. So I recommend doing this sequence 2 to 4 times. And if you want to extend your practice, you could follow up with a twist, because there's no twist in the Makaho sequence. And you could also follow up with some sun salutations to build a bit of strength in the upper body. So like I say, it's a complete practice in itself, but you can extend it by doing maybe some cat-cow stretches, some neck and shoulder stretches at the beginning, maybe a twist, maybe some sun salutations at the end. Or you can just practice it by itself. So we'll do it one more time, but this time I'm going to go fairly quickly on the breath to get you into that feeling of just taking 3 breaths in each pose. So starting in Tadasana, grounding down into the feet, connecting to the floor, lifting up into the crown of the head. Going to inhale, raising the arms, lengthening the sides of the body. Exhaling, bring the arms behind the body, interlinking the thumbs the same way. Exhaling, folding forwards. Bending the knees a little as you inhale, lifting up. And then we're coming down to the floor. Remember, we want knees together, feet either side of the hips, using as many props as you need. Do take care of your knees. Do take care of your low back. Don't feel tempted to force the body into a position that it isn't ready for. Coming up without twisting. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Inhaling to be tall. Exhaling, if you want to, you can fold forwards. Inhaling to lift up. And taking the soles of the feet out in front of you. Exhaling, folding forwards. Inhaling to lift up. Bringing the right ankle on top, right wrist on top. Inhaling to lift up. And just switching the cross of the arms and the legs. So now I've got the left arm, left leg on top. Inhaling to lift up. And then just taking one leg out to the side, bringing the sole of the foot to the thigh. Inhaling to be tall. And then the bottom arm, we're going to have the back of the hand running down the shin. Side stretching. Inhaling to lift up. Switching over the legs. And then just returning to a seated position. Just closing the eyes and just absorbing the benefits of your practice. So well done. Thank you for practicing with me today. And I hope you find that a useful sequence to work into your busy day.